I always thought I was living the American dream. You know, the whole package: steady job, a brand new house in the suburbs, backyard with a grill I barely use, and a girlfriend who, at least in public, looked like she'd just stepped out of some Hallmark movie. We were supposed to be building a family. She made Pinterest boards about future kids' bedrooms, and I made sure the mortgage got paid on time. Everything was fine, until my life turned into a twisted reality show produced by the devil himself. It started small. I'd come home from work, tired from pretending I cared about quarterly sales reports, and notice little things. My favorite bourbon bottle, lower than I remembered. The couch pillows, not in their usual, slightly OCD-aligned position. The thermostat, set to a temperature only psychopaths or lizards could enjoy. And the weirdest part, a faint smell of cologne in the air. Not my cologne. This was some dollar store knockoff of "I'm trying too hard to smell rich" kind of scent. I told myself I was being paranoid. Maybe my family genes were kicking in. My mom always said my granddad could sniff out a lie faster than a bloodhound. But then came the day I walked in early from work and saw something. Not just something. Someone. A shadowy figure slipping out my back door like they'd just robbed Fort Knox. Tall, wearing a hoodie, moving fast. My girlfriend popped out of the kitchen like she'd been rehearsing a line in front of a mirror for days and said, "Oh, that was just a neighbor." Yeah, because I totally live in a neighborhood where random guys just wander through my kitchen. Still, I let it slide. Love makes you stupid, and toxic love makes you even dumber. I figured, hey, maybe I'm overthinking it. But then I started noticing my Netflix recommendations were changing. Suddenly, my account was full of trashy reality TV shows I'd never watch. Love After Lockup, Cheaters, 90 Day Fiancé, Revenge Edition. Someone was clearly using my account, and it wasn't me. The tipping point came one Saturday morning when I found a set of keys on the counter that weren't mine. 4 keys on a cheap keychain that said #1 Dad, which, spoiler alert, I'm not. I asked her, "Hey, whose keys are these?" And she said, "Oh, those? Probably from when my family visited." Which is hilarious considering her family lives 3 states away, and the only time they visited, her mom complained about my coffee being too strong and left after 2 hours. At this point, the conspiracy theorist in me woke up. I started imagining scenarios. Maybe she was secretly part of some underground key-swapping cult. Maybe my house was a hub for ex-boyfriends in need of free Wi-Fi and cold beer. Or maybe, and here's where the tinfoil hat really tightened, she was part of a cheating ring, like those scammy MLMs, but for relationships. Recruit 2 people, get your own betrayal for free. I decided to play it cool and set up my own FBI operation. Which, in suburban terms, means I bought a couple of Wi-Fi security cameras off Amazon and hid them in places even Marie Kondo wouldn't check. And then, oh boy, the footage I got was the kind of thing that would make even Jerry Springer say, "That's a bit much." There he was, the hoodie guy, in my living room, watching my TV, eating my chips, wearing my hoodie. The man was literally in my clothes. And there she was, laughing with him like they were auditioning for a sitcom called 2 Broke Freeloaders. The kicker, he wasn't just some random dude. Nope. He was her ex-boyfriend. The unemployed one she didn't even talk to anymore. The one she swore was just a chapter in her past. Apparently, that chapter had a sequel. And the best part, she had given him a set of keys to my house. Like she was the CEO of Give Away Your Boyfriend's Security, Inc. This wasn't just betrayal. This was betrayal with a coupon code and free shipping. Now, most people would have gone nuclear right there, storm in, scream, throw their stuff out the window. But I'm not most people. I believe in calculated revenge. Because when someone disrespects your trust, your home, and your bourbon, you don't just get mad, you get strategic. And let me tell you, I had just started drafting the most beautiful, diabolical plan in the history of toxic love payback. You know how they say the truth will set you free? Yeah, well, in my case, it set me free from a relationship, my sanity, and possibly a few years of life expectancy. Because when the truth hit me, it didn't just knock. It kicked the damn door down and screamed, "Surprise, loser!" After I caught the hoodie-wearing parasite on my security footage, I didn't confront her right away. Oh no. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me lose it. I wanted to marinate in this betrayal. I wanted to slow cook my rage until it was fall off the bone tender. So I went into full suburban espionage mode, because apparently my family drama was now the season finale of some toxic soap opera. For the next week, I monitored everything: the cameras, the Ring doorbell, even the Nest thermostat logs, because if there's anything more insulting than a cheating ex in your house, it's them adjusting your AC without permission. Sure enough, I built a timeline. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, between 11:30 a.m. and 2 p.m., Captain Unemployed would roll in like he was clocking into his job at Freeloaders R Us. Sometimes he came alone, sometimes with her, sometimes with takeout bags, like I was sponsoring their little home date nights. One Tuesday, I decided to take a half day from work and park my car a block away. I wanted to see it in person, to burn the image into my brain so deep it would fuel my revenge for decades. And there it was, my girlfriend's little sedan pulling into the driveway, with him in the passenger seat, sipping my iced coffee. They walked in, didn't even look around, didn't even check if I might be home. Bold, like two raccoons who've decided the trash can is legally theirs now. By the time Friday rolled around, I couldn't keep it in any longer. I waited until she was alone that night, sitting on the couch scrolling through Instagram like her life wasn't one giant dumpster fire. I walked in, sat down across from her, and dropped the bomb. "So, when were you planning to tell me your unemployed ex has been living here?" You know those videos where someone drops a glass in slow motion? That was her face. She froze, blinked, and then launched into a performance that would have won her an Oscar if the Academy gave out awards for Most Unconvincing Lie in a Drama Series. It's not what it looks like. Oh, sweetheart, it's exactly what it looks like. The man is literally wearing my hoodie in the footage. Then came the excuses. He's going through a hard time. I didn't think you'd understand. I was just trying to help. Help? Help? Lady, the man was in my house, eating my food, watching my TV, and napping on my couch like he'd paid half the mortgage. That's not helping. That's harboring a squatter. When I pushed back, she flipped the script, tried to make me the bad guy. You're being dramatic. This is why I didn't tell you. You always overreact. Oh, sure, because the normal reaction to finding out your girlfriend gave your house keys to her ex is to say, "Cool, should I make him a welcome basket?" Here's the part where I admit something. I almost lost it. Almost went full scorched earth right then and there. But that's the thing about revenge. If you blow it too early, it's just yelling. If you wait, it's art. And I wanted a masterpiece, so I leaned back, acted like I was thinking it over, and said, "Okay, if that's how it is, fine," which confused her because narcissists hate it when you don't play the role they wrote for you. I gave her just enough fake calm to make her think she'd won. But inside, I was already laying the groundwork for the betrayal payback of the century. I called up my buddy Jake, who's a lawyer, not a divorce lawyer. I wasn't married, but a property lawyer, the kind who can quote trespassing statutes while eating a taco. I told him the whole story, and he laughed so hard I thought he might choke. But then he said the magic words, "You have them on camera, you own the house, and you never gave him permission to be there. That's criminal trespassing. You can get him out permanently, legally." That's when the light bulb went off. I wasn't just going to kick him out. I was going to make it so he couldn't come within 100 feet of my house without risking a night in jail. And her? Well, she was going to get her own surprise. One that would leave her regretting every single cheap, sneaky, toxic love decision she'd ever made. But here's the thing. If you're going to pull off revenge right, you can't just drop the hammer. You have to make them feel safe first. You have to lull them into thinking everything's fine. And then when they least expect it, you flip the table. And oh boy, I was about to flip it so hard the whole family tree would shake. They say revenge is best served cold. I say, why stop there? Serve it cold, plated like a 5-star meal, with garnish, background music, and a side of legal paperwork. This wasn't going to be some sloppy, throw-their-stuff-on-the-lawn breakup. No, this was going to be a precision strike. The kind of move that makes Netflix call you asking if they can buy the rights. Step 1. Operation Key Swap. I called a locksmith, told him I needed the locks changed immediately. When he asked why, I told him the truth. My girlfriend's unemployed ex-boyfriend has been using my house like an Airbnb I didn't sign up for. The man didn't even blink. Apparently, this wasn't his first toxic love rodeo. An hour later, my locks were upgraded, my security system synced, and I had codes only I knew. Step 2. The legal ambush. I met with Jake, my lawyer buddy, who had been salivating over this case like it was a brisket on the smoker. We prepped a formal trespassing notice, complete with date-stamped camera footage of Hoodie McFreeloader wandering through my kitchen, trying on my hoodie, and at one point eating straight from the peanut butter jar with his finger. Yes, I will die mad about that. Step 3. The bait and switch. Here's the thing about revenge. You can't just hit them head on. You have to make them walk into it themselves. So I told my girlfriend I'd be out of town for the weekend, visiting family. She smiled, probably imagining she and Captain Unemployed would have the house to themselves. Perfect. Friday night, I parked my car a few streets away, waited until the lights came on inside, and then made the call to the police. Hi, I'm the homeowner. There are 2 people inside my house who don't have permission to be there. Yes, I have proof. Within minutes, 2 patrol cars rolled up. I followed behind, keeping my phone recording just in case this turned into a viral YouTube clip titled, "When Cheating Goes Wrong." The cops knocked, then pounded, then let themselves in because, surprise, my permission actually matters here. And there they were. She was in my robe, and he was sitting on the couch looking like he'd just been caught stealing Christmas. The cops didn't even have to ask questions. I handed over the paperwork, the footage, and my ID. It was the kind of slam-dunk moment that makes you want to slow clap. Her face? A mix of confusion, panic, and that look people get when they realize the plot twist is that they're the villain. She started yelling, "You can't do this!" The officer, deadpan as a tax form, replied, "Ma'am, he owns the house." The unemployed ex tried to speak up, but was immediately reminded that criminal trespass is not just a fun phrase. Step 4. The sweet dropkick of closure. Once they were escorted out, I didn't just stop there. Oh no, I'd already packed her things. Well, the things she'd bought. Anything I paid for stayed right where it was. Her clothes, makeup, random Etsy decor that didn't match anything, all neatly boxed and waiting on the curb. And yes, I may have labeled the boxes "donations" in Sharpie. The best part? She had to call her family to come pick her up. And remember, she'd told them I was too controlling, when in reality I was just too unwilling to let a random unemployed man live in my house for free. So when they pulled up, I stood there with the most polite smile in history and said, "Evening, your daughter's been keeping some interesting company." Step 5. The aftershock. You'd think that would be the end of it, but toxic people don't retire quietly. She tried texting me a week later, saying I'd overreacted and embarrassed her. I responded with a single attachment, the video of Hoodie Boy eating peanut butter with his finger. And the caption, "Betrayal tastes like Jif." Look, I'm not a saint. I don't pretend I handled this with Zen-like grace. But when you give someone your trust, your keys, and your home, and they hand it over to the ghost of boyfriends past, you don't just walk away quietly. You orchestrate the kind of revenge that makes them think twice before trying that crap again. And the best part? I slept like a baby that night. Not just because the house was finally mine again, but because I knew I'd flipped the power dynamic so hard it might have caused a small earthquake. My house, my rules, my win. You'd think after the whole police-escorted exit, the box on the curb walk of shame, and the peanut butter finger video mic drop, the saga would be over. But no. Toxic love stories don't just fade to black. They keep spawning unnecessary sequels like those Fast and Furious movies, and I wasn't about to let her direct the ending. The first week after the eviction was pure bliss. No mysterious cologne smells, no extra dents in the couch cushions, no disappearing bourbon. My house felt clean. Not just physically, but spiritually, like I'd saged away the betrayal. I'd wake up, make coffee, look around, and smile, knowing no unemployed ex-boyfriend was wandering around in his underwear somewhere in my living room. Then came the texts. Oh, the texts. First, it was the "I can't believe you did that to me" messages. Then the "We need to talk for closure" messages. And finally, the "You'll regret this" messages, which, spoiler alert, I didn't. I responded to exactly one of them, sending her a photo of my front door with the new lock and the caption, "Cheating doesn't come with keys anymore." A few days later, a mutual friend called me. Apparently, she'd been telling everyone in our social circle that I'd humiliated her and ruined her life. Which honestly was hilarious coming from the woman who thought it was okay to give my house keys to Captain Jobless. But here's the thing, she also forgot I had all the footage. And in America, nothing says case closed like a good public screening. So at our next backyard barbecue, because I'm still classy enough to feed my friends, I hooked up a projector. And before we put on the game, I accidentally played a short video montage titled Betrayal, the unauthorized documentary. It was all there. Him walking in with a grocery bag of snacks I paid for, them laughing on my couch, her handing him the keys like she was Oprah giving away cars. "You get a house. You get a house." The crowd, dead silent for a beat, then roaring with that collective, "Damn." Now, I didn't post it online. I'm petty, but I'm not looking for lawsuits. But let's just say the story traveled. Small town, big mouths. The next time she showed up at our local bar, she got more side eyes than a politician at a vegan festival. Hoodie Boy. Haven't seen him since. Rumor has it he's living with his mom now, which frankly sounds like an upgrade from mooching off my fridge. But the real victory, the peace. My house was finally mine. No more walking and wondering who'd been there. No more pretending toxic love is just a rough patch. And no more betraying myself by tolerating crap I didn't deserve. Because here's the truth, they don't tell you in those sappy family movies. Sometimes the happiest ending is slamming the door behind you and triple locking it. Every now and then, I'll run into someone who knew both of us, and they'll say, "Man, you really handled that well." Which is funny, because in the moment, it didn't feel well. It felt messy, exhausting, and a little bit insane. But in hindsight, it was textbook. Revenge executed with precision. Betrayal punished with style. Cheating shut down with the full force of legal, social, and peanut butter-based evidence. And here's the kicker. She actually tried to friend me on Facebook 6 months later. Maybe it was nostalgia, maybe it was guilt, or maybe she just wanted to see if I'd replaced her yet. I didn't accept. Instead, I updated my profile bio to homeowner. dog dad. Not currently running a halfway house for unemployed ex-boyfriends. If there's one thing I learned from this whole mess, it's that your home isn't just a place, it's your castle. And in America, we take the castle thing seriously. You don't let just anyone waltz in and start redecorating your throne room, especially if they're sleeping with the queen without your permission. That's how betrayals turn into wars. And when wars happen, well, let's just say I don't mind winning. So yeah, maybe I was a little dramatic. Maybe my revenge was over the top. But when someone tries to turn your life into their free Airbnb, you've got two options. You can be the sucker who lets it slide. Or you can be the guy who changes the locks, calls the cops, and throws a barbecue where your betrayal plays on a 120-inch screen. Guess which one I picked.